What's going on, my dudes? Leo11 here, and welcome back to another episode in the A to Z series, where we go through every single champion in League of Legends and give you a basic or beginner's guide on each of them. In today's episode, we're going to be showing you how to play Leona Support for beginners in Season 12. So the preseason has started, so we got the Season 12 patch, or what will be happening in Season 12. So we got new items, obviously the new dragons are here. And some new runes. None of those apply to Leona. The items, we will be building the new item on Leona, which is fantastic. We'll go through that when we go through the build, but it's the Even Shroud or Evan Shroud. Works well on Leona for team fighting. And these videos, we're going to be going through, obviously, Leona's build, her abilities, what order to max your abilities, and her runes as well. So we'll go through everything. And we got a pre-recorded game I played the other day, which went okay. It's not the best game. The gameplay is not the most important thing. What's most important is to go through everything so we understand. If you guys want to pick up Leona as a beginner, you know what to do. And a small aside, Leona is a fantastic champion in support. Fantastic. Heaps of CC, heaps of CC or crowd control. Fantastic tank. Lots of tankiness built into her kit. And just fantastic at helping your team. So if you're new to the game, Leona's one of those champions, or a support champion called an engaged support champion, that I highly recommend. A little bit of Alicia the Shaco, probably didn't even need to because he got the boxes down. We're playing with MF this game, Shaco jungle, and you'll see what happens in this game where we get a little bit of a lead. Because Leona and MF are a fantastic combination because they're highly aggressive, or they can be highly aggressive, whereas Ezreal and Zyra are more of a poke style, so we need to just watch out for the poke and then engage when we can, and then if we get the full engage, we should be able to kill him. So that's a little bit of a, when you start a lane, you should always try to be thinking what's going to happen, right? What are the characteristics of the champions, and this just takes time. I can't explain every characteristic of every champion every game. But it just takes time and practice, right? So you start to figure it out. So what we're going to do is, before we go into the abilities of runes and whatnot, just a very quick explanation of all of Leona's abilities. We're going to go through them in a lot of detail later, just so while watching the early game, while I'm going through the runes or whatnot, you know what's going on. So the Q is like an auto attack that stuns an enemy. The W makes you very immune to damage, gives you a lot of armor, magic resist, and then afterward explodes around you like an eclipse. Leona's like a sun theme, right? She's all her abilities are based around the sun. Her E shoots out like a sword, and if the sword hits a champion, it does magic damage, and it does magic damage to minions and all enemies hit. But if it hits an enemy, you dash towards them and stun them. And then the ultimate is like you place it down somewhere, and then it stuns people in an area or slows them. It stuns them if you hit them in the middle. So that's a quick summary. But we'll go through everything in a lot more detail later. So again, in this lane, we're just trying to not take too much poke damage, and then when I see a good opportunity, we engage, right? So as the Leona, you need to make that decision. The MF can't just engage, because obviously she doesn't have the tools, right? So what I'm doing in this game, in this lane, rather, is I'm looking to wait for either Ezreal's E, or that's it, there's Zyra's the stun there. So if we can get them on cooldown, then it's a good time to engage. Alright, so we're trying not to take as much poke damage in the process, and that's why we take biscuits in the runes, which we'll go through in a moment. But just bear in mind, what I'm trying to do is wait for them to use an ability, wait for them to be pushed up, or wait for them to use a key ability, go on cooldown. See, right there, she used that thing, the stun. So as soon as she uses the stun, we know it's a pretty good time to go in, because she can't stun us, right? So I'm looking for it. But let's go through the runes while we wait for me to finally make a decision to go in. I believe I do eventually engage. Also, looking at their mana bars, when Zyra's low on mana, she can't do as much. So now's a good time to engage. Also, in the early game, look for minions advantages. Obviously, they have a minion advantage now. They've got more minions than us, so we would take more damage to minions than they would. So you also have to consider that. Okay, slow. Now's a good time, right? They're chasing back. We get the double stun on Ezreal. We ignite him. And MF cleans up the kill. I think Zyra escapes with her flash. But we got a flash. We get Ezreal kill. Good engage. The slow from the MF was fantastic, because it allowed me to connect my E without chance of missing. So let's go through the runes on Leona. So the main keystone is Aftershock. So this is obviously fantastic on Leona because you're going to be immobilizing a lot of champions. So it's going to proc often. Best rune to go on Leona, 100%. Font of Life. You're just impairing movement of the enemy champion for 4 seconds. Fantastic. Bone Plating. Tankiness, again. Unflinching, Tenacity, and Slow Resist. Fantastic on Leona again because you want to get in and do CC with your Q. Now, Inspiration Tree second, we want to take the Biscuits. So for the health sustain and the mana sustain, most importantly to stay in lane. Because you're going to be engaging and frontlining, you're going to be taking all the poke, right? Especially into this matchup here against the Zyra and the Ezreal. It's going to come in handy. And then Cosmic Insight for the Summoner Spell Haste, which is fantastic, and the Item Haste. Because we are going to be building... actually, do we end up building any... No, maybe. I think later on in the build, you can build the like the activatable items. But in this game, we're going for the Even Shroud or the Evan Shroud to see... which is starting to become the most popular build on Leona, and for good reason. Alright, so let's go through the ability order. And like your level priority. So level 1, you want to take Q. For obvious reasons, just an auto attack, reset, stun. Fantastic level 1 ability. So it's fantastic to start on that. So here you can see I CC them a lot, but we have to use my flash. Looks like the MF is going to end up with the Q on the Zyra. I stun the Ezreal. I end up dying, but then I think the MF is going to clean up the Ezreal despite being a level down. No, he's going to get away. With his heal, I think he used. But the Shaco's here, flashes in and finishes off the Ezreal, who also flashes, which is good. So I did die, but we're going to get the kill on the Ezreal, I believe. Get a nice control ward. Make sure you pick up your control wards. On support, you want to control bush vision, because if you can set up plays, especially on Leona with the high CC. You can set up picks very, very easily on Leona. So, as I was saying, Q level 1, E level 2, W level 3, and then max your W from there. So your W is that tankiness, because the other abilities, all they do is really CC, right? That's all you're using them for. So you'd rather take all the tankiness stats you can on the W. Then you want to max your E next, and then your Q last, and then you want to take a point in your ultimate, whatever you can, which is 6, 11, and 16. All right, so we're going to go through quickly the items. So starting items, you want to go obviously 2 health pots and Relic Shield. So Relic Shield, if you're very new to the game, you might not know what it does. It's those blue orbs that are going around. It's a support starting item. It gives you gold income, and it allows you to execute minions that are below a certain percentage of health and give you the gold to your ADC, right? And also gives you the gold. So support items, you always start support items when you play support. If you don't, you're lacking gold, because this gives you like passive gold income. But because you're not CSing, you're going to go way behind. Also, when you level it up, when you complete the quest that's attached to it, you get wards, okay? And that's, again, super important for support. So once you get your... we're going to go in here because the Shaco's here. Again, CCing as much as I can. Nice MF ult. Should pick up the Zyra. When my E goes off cooldown, I can just dive him. I'm going to stun the Zyra with my Q. Hopefully someone can finish. Beautiful. Finish her off. And then the Hecarim's here as well. So nice play from the jungler to notice we're ahead and come and gank. Pretty much camp the lane, which is fantastic for us. So yeah, the Relic Shield, fantastic support item. Gives you the so as soon as you finish the quest on the support item, you want to switch to the warding, what's it called, Oracle Lens, which is the red warding trinket, which will allow you to scan bushes and areas for wards. So then you can have vision yourself, you can get control wards, and you can get normal wards, and deny vision with the scanning wards. That's why you always start support items. Okay, so then we go into the build. So I'm going to put up the build on the screen. So what you'll notice is it says this rush Moby Boots. Now, if you are in a game like this where, to be honest, the jungle is sticking with us, Moby Boots would have been fantastic because the mid laner is quite immobile. So I could have been roaming mid with my jungler and whatnot and getting a lot of kills like that. I just get CC'd out of the wall. They missed my E, unfortunately. Ezreal uses his ultimate. But again, our jungler's here, so we can absolutely demolish everyone. I die again, unfortunately, but looks like the Shaco's going to get the double kill here. So see like this, like a game like this where the Shaco is actually just staying bottom, I decided I'm going to go for defensive boots. I think I end up getting plated steel caps or the armor boots. But we are rushing the Evan Shroud here because the new item, which is the item you just saw me purchasing components for just there. So what it does, because it's new, I'll go through it. It gives you 200 health, 200 ability haste, both fantastic on Leona. Gives you armor and magic resist, perfect for this lane. Zyra is doing magic damage, Ezra is doing AD, or attack damage. After immobilizing champions or being immobilized, cause that target and all nearby enemy champions to take 12% increased damage for 5 seconds. And it grants all your other legendary items 5 armor and magic resist, flat, not percentage. So, again, fantastic item for Leona. What does she do? She's doing lots of AoE CCing. She's doing a lot of frontlining. So she's going to be taking CC a lot. Works perfectly. Increases your team, right? It makes them do more damage. And it also gives you a bit more armor stats, right? Magic resist and armor. So it's a new item for this season. It's a fantastic item. I believe it's a new item. It's fantastic. Works perfectly with Leona. So that is the new build that I'm recommending. It is becoming the most popular. Now, if you want to go old school, you can go Locket of Iron Solari or Rush Abyssal Mask, depending on the matchups. And then Locket of Iron Solari will also benefit from that Cosmic Insight, which is because it has an active component. But I recommend the Even Shroud. It's fantastic. All right, we're going to go in because we see the Shaco coming. Use my ultimate there. I missed the Ezra because he eased out of it, but we do still slow him, which locks him down. And then we see the Zyra who had to Zonya's the MF ult, but she ended up locking herself in position. And again, we can just go kill her. So absolutely stomping this lane thanks to our jungler. Fantastic. So then the next item we're going to go Zeke's Convergence, which just again gives a conduit between you and your ally, and gives them amplification. For 8 seconds after you mobilize the enemy, your accomplice attacks apply additional base on hit magic damage, right? Which is basically what Leona's passive does anyway. So just doing more of that. So they're the main items, and then you can obviously go Watchful Ward Stones, which is an item that gives you more control wards. There's a nice stun. Again, there's the Aftershock proccing, fantastic item. Knight's Vow is also good, and then you can go then you build towards the game. Like, so you get Random Ozone if they got a lot of crit. If they got a lot of healing, you go Thornmail, and you can go Redemption later on if you want. Always be thinking about the enemy team and build towards against them. When you're playing a tank, that's super important because there's a lot of different items that do different things. So you need to understand, especially what kind of damage the enemy team's mostly doing. That way you can defend accordingly. So again, CC chain, there's the combo. After we go through the abilities, I'll explain the combo. Basically, it's Q or E first. You use your W at some point. Then you lock them up with your Q. And then after that, you hit your ultimate, right? They can't move for like the whole time because you layer your CC. Just like that, Zyra could not move and then my team were able to kill her. So that's everything I wanted to get through prior to the abilities. So now we're going to spend some time while watching the rest of this game, just going through all the abilities, making sure everyone understands all of them. So we're going to go through the passive first, which is called Sunlight. So Leona's abilities mark enemies with sunlight for 1.5 seconds. Subsequent applications of sunlight will refresh its duration. Damage dealt to the marked enemy by an ally champion, excluding Leona, so it has to be an ally, consumes the sunlight, dealing bonus magic damage. So this is why Leona isn't played top, like the other tanks. Leona needs a support. Leona needs an ally champion constantly there to get the benefit of the passive, right? If no one's there, then your passive does nothing. So as soon as you immobilize the enemy, or mark them, or hit them with an ability, they get sunlight applied to them, and then your ally champion attacks them and procs it and does bonus magic damage. Now, here's a fun fact. I literally found this out while researching to make this video. Apparently, when you apply sunlight to Zyra, which is, funnily enough, the champion we're facing today, she gets 10% increased size because she's a plant, right? So I want to keep an eye on it next time I go to use an ability on her. Apparently, she gets bigger if I hit her with an ability. So I'm just going to wait and see if it happens. I know, here we go. I think she actually did get bigger. Well, she died because I CC chained her and she's out of position. But that's something they're fun. Riot throw in a lot of these little gimmicky things to make the game more fun. Obviously, it doesn't do anything. It's actually a nice counter to Leona, to Zyra. Because when champions are larger, it's easy to hit with your E and your ultimate, right? So there you go. Something I didn't know. Still learning. I've been playing this game for many years. I still didn't know that. There's actually a lot of them seem to be revolving around Leona. There's another hidden passive with the Xin Zhao, one of his skins in Leona, but I'll let you guys look that up. Alright, so that's the passive. Very, very simple. Again, you have to play with someone else in your lane to make it work. Or play top with the jungler that's going to gank you constantly. But even then, it's not worth it. I think you should definitely just play it support. So you can see that we get the tower. And then as soon as we do, we go in with the E and we Q. And again, we just demolish their bot lane, get a tower. This jungler is doing a fantastic job of just constantly wrecking our enemy laners. Vigar's in the bush. You've got to be careful of the little Vigar in the bush. So unfortunately, we've died 3 times. Shen's coming, use this ultimate, and then the Hecarim shows up. So this is actually terrible. They've all collapsed beautifully here. Nice that the Shaka got the kill on the backside. MF doing her best to try and kill the Shen, but she's going to go down. And then I think the Shaco is going to die to the Hecarim as well, so it's a bit unfortunate. So I think this game, see here what I'm doing, literally live there. What I was doing is I was literally looking at the enemy team and deciding what boots I wanted. And I was like, I'm going to get Mercury Treads because they got a Zyra and they got a Vigar. Do they have any other AP? But it's just for the tenacity, right? Vigar, Cage, Zyra, Snare. It's going to be great against their team, right? It gives us more tenacity, which means our CC duration when we get CC will be reduced, right? So that's why we went for the Mercury Treads. You can also, as I said, go Moby Boots. I like Moby Boots as well. This game, for some reason, I just thought, let's go for a defensive style boot. Let's go for... Because I was sick of getting CC'd in the early game by that Zyra, so I wanted to make sure I can move around. Alright, so the enemy team, again, they're pushing up the bot lane. I'm just trying to get some CS here, pretend like I'm getting CS, but really we're just going to wait and engage. Straight on them whenever we can, because at this point, me and MF will destroy their bot lane. 2v2. So we want to look for engage every single time we can. So I could just flash and go in here, but I'm just going to walk up. Do I hit the E? I do hit the E. Stun, there's the ultimate. She flashes out of the ultimate that time. And then I'm too fast for the MF, but it's okay because we can just finish her. Look at that. I get her right down to 90% and then the MF gets the kill. So that's fantastic. That's basically what you want to be doing on support. Unfortunately, the Hecarim shows up as well. And the jungler's busy this time, can't bail us out. So we're going to try and do it all ourselves. The MF dies, and then we're going to get chased down by the other two. So a little bit unfortunate. Fortunately for us, though, the Shaco is doing work on the other side of the map and ends up getting the Vigar, which is okay. But again, what could I have done differently there? So I like to look over games and just think of what I could have done better there. When I missed the ultimate, maybe it was like key of me, okay, let's just back off here, wait for the MF, because the MF wasn't there. And then we wouldn't have been so far up, and maybe would have got out, and then I could have saved our lives, and then we could have maybe helped the Shaco. Shaco comes down, we could have got the kill. So always when you watch back your games, try and figure out what you could have done better. This is actually funny. I remember watching this. Shaco's just a weird champ, isn't it? Look at this shit. I don't understand how to play Shaco at all, but all I know is that's annoying if I'm the Hecarim. Alright, so let's go on to the next ability, or the first usable ability, which is called Shield of Daybreak, which is Leona's Q. It's the first ability you take. So Leona uses her shield as her next basic attack, and within 6 seconds, so as soon as you use it, you gain 50 range, and then you deal bonus magic damage, and when you hit the auto attack, and then you stun the target for 1 second, and it's an auto attack reset. So there's nothing really more to say, to be honest. It's just a fantastic ability. You auto attack someone when you've used your Q, and it stuns them. So this is the second ability in the combo you want to use. You want to E in to stun them, and you teleport to them. Then you want to auto Q, or if you want, you can just Q to make sure you CC them if they're very, very slippery. But if they're not slippery, like the Vigar, you can just auto Q, get more damage in. Then you use your ultimate on top because they're stunned, right, and they can't move. Okay, so that's the Q, guys. Very, very simple ability. Fantastic. Again, I'll show you examples of all the abilities on the screen. I think I'll use the Q here, right? There it is there. So you use the Q on the Scuttle Crab. I've been doing that a couple times this game. Because if you CC the Scuttle Crab, it loses that shield that it has. So a little bit of another bonus tip if you didn't know that. So let's go through the next ability, which is called Eclipse. So Eclipse is your first max. It's your W. And basically, when you activate it, it radiates a solar eclipse around Leona for 3 seconds, and it gives her bonus armor and magic resist. And you take reduced damage for every instance of damage, up to 50%. So it all stacks on top of each other, right? Making this ability fantastic. So a lot of damage reduction, essentially, making Leona extremely tanky. Leona is, for me, one of the tankiest champions in the game. Combine, especially like when you get some items and you've got your W going, it's actually insanely hard to kill Leona. If you've ever played against the Fed Leona, or not even just a Fed Leona, just like a Leona that's a high level, you'll know. Like a high level, like level 9, if you know what I mean. Because that W will be maxed up. So yeah, after a while, I think it's a few seconds, 3 seconds, the Eclipse detonates after the duration, actually. So it's 3 seconds, and then after 3 seconds, it detonates, dealing magic damage to all nearby enemies, granting Leona's Eclipse damage reduction bonus resistance for 3 seconds if she hits anyone. So after 3 seconds of using the ability, it does like an explosion around her, and if you hit anyone with that explosion, enemy champion, what will happen is you get that additional 3 seconds of those resistances, right? So it's a very let's get in and boogie sort of ability, and it's fantastic. So here we're kind of out of position here because the Zyra and the Hecarim are collapsing. So what I'm doing is just peeling my ADC. I can see I'm stunning and I'm using my ultimate behind, just trying to peel for the ADC, keep her alive. So that's basically your job as well, is to keep your backline alive. Unfortunately, I can't do much about that. Just gets clapped by the Ezreal ultimate. But here we're just going to try and defend mid, wait for my team. Fortunately, Shaco got a tower bot lane, so it's not too bad. We trade something for that. And then I'm trying to remember what happened here. I can't remember. Okay, so we'll just go through the E next. While we fail to attempt to CS these minions. Here's like a weird opportunity to get some vision down. Probably should be going warding or backing and getting a ward to ward Baron or something like that. As you can see on the map now, we have the new dragon type. You have these Hex Tech gates, like in the show Arcane. If you haven't seen that, they have those gates. So that's pretty cool. I use a couple of them later on to get to the dragon fight very quickly, which helps out our team. But yeah, I think this is literally the first time I've played on this map with this gate. So usually I keep getting the other one with the invisibility, the chem tank one. So that's pretty cool. So let's go through the E, which is called Zenith Blade. So this is your second max. So it's an active ability. So Leona projects a soul image of a sword in a target direction, dealing magic damage outwards. So you cast it and it does like throws like a sword. There it is there. You can see it. If you hit someone like I just did on the Vargar, look at that, he can't move. So you hit him with the E, then the Q, then the ultimate, he literally can't move. Then the Garen comes in and spanks his bum. So if you hit anyone with that sword, you dash towards them. It has to be an enemy champion. You dash towards them and stun them when you arrive. So that's a fantastic ability. It's good to, like one of the best engage tools for Leona, other than her ultimate maybe. But fantastic ability to just get into and pick people that you want to get on top of. Yeah, just like that on the Vargar there. Fantastic pick. That's what I mean when I say you want to control vision. Because if he had a control ward in that bush, he would have known I'm in there, and then he wouldn't have just stood there like an idiot. So vision, super, super important when you're new to the game. Making sure you're looking at your minimap a lot. Especially when you play support. You don't have to worry about CSing or doing those micromanaging things with your champion as much as other champions. Especially on a simple support like Leona. Here's those gates here. Look at this. That's cool. It's like Bard's ability. And here I fail this because I literally have never used this. I think because I took damage or something, it says cooldown, and then I clicked on it and then it says cooldown again. I'm like, what the hell? But finally we get out of there. We can join this fight. So yeah, use your blade. If it hits a champion, you dash to them, and then you root them for 0.5 seconds. So fantastic ability. Again, I'll show an example on the screen. You had a nice example. That was a bit of a dodgy E there. I'm lucky I didn't hit that because that was a trap. There's my W there to get some resistances so I don't take as much damage. And we're just trying to get these dragons, guys. So we're gonna put a ward in the bush, and we see the Zyra. We don't really have a team here, so we can't go onto the Zyra there. If my team was around, I would have just gone in for the CC. Just gonna go grab some fruit. Fantastic. So we can get this last dragon, making this game pretty much GG. So not the best game on me. I think it was okay. I hope that's my control ward. It is my control ward. So again, control ward all the objectives so they have no vision. Helps as well. Fantastic habit to get into when you're playing support. Even if you're not playing support, that's just a good thing to do in general. It only costs you 75 gold and you guarantee they have no vision of it. Next and last but not least, we're going to go through Leona's ultimate, which is a fantastic ability. Leona calls down a beam of soul energy, which strikes a target location after half a second or 0.625 seconds, granting sight of the area before impacting another 3 seconds later. So before and for another 3 seconds after. So enemies within that area dealt damage. So basically you pick a location, after half a second it just goes bang, and then so the slow is actually insane. For 1.5 seconds, there it is there, you can see it. And if they're in the epicenter, or the dead center, like those two were in that case, they get stunned instead for 1.5 seconds. So fantastic ability. Again, you use it in your combo to auto. Look at that, flashed onto the Ezreal to get the stun, so the team can follow it up. Probably didn't even need to. He's walking into our Shaco. Now we're going to just go get our Baron. So yeah, in that fight, we used our ultimate pretty well. We used it on the two, I think it was the Hecarim and the Shen maybe. Locked them down. Team was able to get a lot of damage. MF managed to get an ultimate on top. That's another reason why Leona MF is a fantastic combination, because you have a lot of lockdown and she can just put her ultimate on top of you and then just absolutely mow them down. But their enemy team's going to surrender there, as we were going to take the Baron and end the game anyway. But yeah, that's basically the ultimate anyway. So that's everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about Leona, leave them in the comment section. I reply to every single comment left on the channel. Sometimes comments go missing and I can't reply, so I apologize if that happens to you. But I literally reply to every comment that is left. And if you could leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy the video, that helps out the channel a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think we got Lilia next, which will be interesting because I need to practice her a lot before I can make a guide. So should be a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to give it to the MF because we had a fantastic lane together. Shaco also probably deserved one. So thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, at the end of the day, it is nighttime. Take it easy.